Hey guys, all right, so today we're going to look at how to defend the darts. Again, we're going to do an early defense, we're going to do a mid to late defense, and then we're going to do a very late defense. And we're going to show it actually in action with the late defense towards the end. But first, I do have a video on how to finish the darts, how to set it up from a position or whatever. Let's just refresh that. I'm going to link that video, but let's just refresh how to actually finish the darts. So I got Brian maybe in side control or something. Maybe he shot he's trying to shoot an underhook or something on me as he comes up. That gives me the opportunity to shoot under. Let's say this arm is not a factor. I kind of managed to drive it in. So the darts basically is this. The lock is the same. It's a rear naked lock right here. And there are many different ways to finish the darts. I could go to the mount. I could go to like one side, another side, and all that stuff. I could just sprawl right here and finish the darts. I pull my elbow up right here as I finish. I could rely on squeeze. There's many different ways to finish, but they all have one thing in common. The requirement for the darts to work as a strangle, not as a neck crank, is for his shoulder and bicep to be running alongside his neck here. Okay, it's kind of like an arm triangle. It is a type of arm triangle. It's like me having him in a rear naked choke, where my arm is running here. It's the same thing, but one of his arms is doing the job. The other side of his neck is plugged in by my forearm here, as deep as possible, as you can see, right? My shoulder is under his armpit, and then I lock, and then look what happens here. If you can bring the camera underneath as low as possible so you can actually see where his arm is. His arm is in the middle of my chest, all right? And it's plugging his neck, literally. Now, Brian, do me a favor and bring your elbow a little bit higher towards your eye sockets. When that happens, now I'm cranking his neck a little bit. I'm working the tendons here, okay? But he's not getting strangled. Watch, it's gonna be a little uncomfortable, but do me a favor, Brian, and start talking or humming or something like that, just to make the point. Go ahead.
1, 2, 3, 4.
He's surviving there. He's not really choking. Put your arm back into the neck. Now he's going to be strangling. Start talking again. He's going to pass out eventually there. That's because the arm is in the proper position to strangle him, okay? So knowing this, we're going to reverse engineer it for defense, for defensive purposes. So in order for the darts to be defended, as well as any arming triangle or head and arm choke or anything like that, we need to get the bicep and the shoulder away from the neck. So that means here or here. Either way, there's not going to be any more connection. So let's get this done. First, we're going to look at a early defense to the darts, okay? Brian is going to take maybe from the same kind of entry here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to let him, before he even connects his arms, okay? Before he even connects his arms, as soon as I see him shooting that arm under my armpit, I know where this thing is going. I'm going to clamp here with my elbow into my ribs, so I'm going to basically open my own shoulder, right? And I'm going to kind of step hard on the floor and posture my head out. Now when he tries to continue into the darts, go for it. It's kind of impossible. He can transfer he can go into other positions, maybe north, south, or whatever, you know. Even if he tries that on my head and all that stuff, I'm pretty strong here. The other thing is I can also post on his hip and start creating some separation. I could probably start recovering guard, etc., etc. I could even come on top if he's doing nothing. Now, this is the very early stage where we're actually preventing him from getting any deep into the darts. On the next stage, we messed up a little bit, okay? He does get to the darts and start accommodating your body. You can hear in my voice that the bicep is in the correct position. If I don't do anything, he'll finish here, right? So, as soon as I feel him getting there, the first thing I'm gonna do before he starts squeezing and dropping his chest on top of me, before he does any of that, I need to open this elbow. The best thing I can do is open it again towards his armpit. So my elbow is gonna go into his armpit here, okay? Now, what am I gonna do next? I'm going to whizzer hard on his arm, like this, okay? If you wanna come to the other side for a second, I'm opening my elbow and I'm whizzering hard on his arm. Notice that I'm facing him, okay? Now this alone is not going to save me. He's eventually going to accommodate my arm to go exactly where he wants it, and he's going to finish. So I need to continue with the defense. I'm going to plant my feet, my toes rather. Then I'm going to prop myself on my shoulder here, and I'm going to extract this arm. And as I do that, I'm going to turn belly down. Post this arm here. My other hand is under my my belly here, and I'm still whizzing hard, trying to maintain the lock ground. Okay. You can hear my voice is not, it's kind of straining, right? Because there's still that lock on this side, but the other side is unplugged, which means that I can still breathe, I can talk, I can move, right? So I'm going to continue turning, turn. Now I'm going to sit out. Now look what happens if he holds on to the lock, and we're going to do it slowly so he can actually hold on to it. I sit out, and I start, try to hold on to it, if you can. I sit out, and I start driving into him, watch. I bring him down to his back. I'm still holding tight here. That's why it's working, because I'm pinning the shoulder. Okay? Let's say he keeps on to the lock here. I can open my arms, do the same thing we did with the anaconda defense. Come over and land inside control. It's very uncomfortable for him to hold on to that lock. Let's assume that he did hold on to it and he's holding on for a while here, right? Okay. Don't forget, I'm still whizzing hard on this arm, right? He's holding on to the lock and I can't move much, okay? Let's say he's much bigger than me. I can't move much. Assist with the other hand. Again, the weak link in the lock here, any rear naked lock, is the elbow and the hand connection. Push the elbow out, pivot on my shoulder, and not comfortable at all for him, okay? Now, let's do this a little bit faster, because this one has a lot of details, but it's actually rather easy. So he's getting there. Before he sprawls completely and pushes my arm into my neck here, I'm gonna kind of push my elbow back towards my ribs into his armpit, okay? Then I'm gonna whizzer his arm. As I do that, I'm gonna prop myself onto my shoulder. I'm going to switch to knee on belly, to belly on the floor. As I pull my arm to the other side. Now I'm in this position, I'm looking straight forward. If he lets go here, I still have his arm and his shoulder pinned. Watch, I can still continue the movement. But let's say he doesn't let go. He's holding on. The movement is gonna be the same. It's gonna be a little bit harder because there is a lock here into my neck, right? But I'm using my body, my whole body mechanics to actually drive, push, and get on top, okay? So this is like mid-stage defense. Now let's look at a late defense. What is late in this case? When he gets the DARS, and my arm is in the right spot, but now my head is up here, right? So all he needs to do is sprawl. When he starts sprawling right now, you can hear in my voice, I can't pull this arm down anymore because all his body weight is on my arm. I can't pull it down to wrap around his tricep, right? So the only thing I can do right now, sprawl and squeeze a little bit. The only thing I can do is actually shoot my arm forward here, okay? Now you're hearing my voice that this is not taking the same effect anymore, but he can still accommodate himself by driving back this way, and he's back into it, okay? So I need to move. But first step is sprawl a little bit. There you go. First step is drive my arm forward like Superman punch here. Then notice where my feet are. I want to go belly down. For that to happen, I need to extract this arm here, okay? If you come on this side, I'm going to raise my hips a little bit. I can't really do much else, but I can raise my hips, and I'm gonna pull this arm out. Now I'm literally in this position, like kind of idiotically looking position, but you can hear in my voice that it's working. He's not strangling me anymore. Tries to squeeze. It's not pleasant on my neck here, but I'm not gonna stay here. I'm gonna keep going. And where do we end? In the same position as before. Okay, from here we can break the lock, or we can, right now it's kind of loose. I feel that it's pretty loose. Even if he lets go, I'm on top already, right? We finish by turning it. One more time. So this is very late, Brian. Let's do it this time in a live situation. You go ahead and go for the finish, right?
So we're here. I'm very late. Let's get the finish done. Go for it. First we're gonna tap. Go for it. Okay. So now we're gonna do the same thing. Start from here. I'm not gonna defend until I start seeing stars. Go.
The whole idea is to turn my body inside the lock, but it's very hard to turn if I'm like this.
If I'm like this and he's got his lock around my head and my one arm, it's very hard to turn. So I need to separate my arms. Can't turn. I don't want to turn this way because I'm gonna. Why? Because his body weight is here. I'm gonna bring his body weight on top. Okay, that's out of question. I gotta turn the other way to separate this from my neck. So what I'll do is I need to separate my arms, split my arms basically. One goes up, the other one goes down. But I also need to put it on the other side of my body. So I raise my hip, go here, look like one of those traffic people that direct, the traffic lights, and then keep going into the same position. I overwrap here, and I land on top, okay? So this is early stage, middle stage, and late stage, very, very late stage defense on the DARS, okay? I hope that works for you. Again, I said it in the Anaconda video, I'll say it again. You gotta work on it, you have to drill it live, just like we did. Start slow, see where the choke begins, see how far you can go, or how far he can go with the squeeze, because it also depends from body type to body type. If it's someone much bigger on you, it's gonna take much shorter time. And then work towards, how do I get out of here early? How do I get out of here late? And you have the blueprint. All you have to do is follow and drill it, because otherwise it's not going to work from one day to another. Okay. Thank you everybody for joining. Thank you, Brian, for filming with me. Thank you, Vlad, and thank you, Uprising MMA.